what Taleb would call a barbell approach, right? There should be two big chunks of learning. One where there is no AI, no technology, you are just sitting there with the material and you are practicing things, you are learning things. Okay. And the other is you are using AI to the max to be at the edge of your capabilities so that you are learning a lot in a small amount of time and you're actually getting interesting things done, right? So the first part, I'm sure the schools are going to be taking care of, right? And that's why the second part is this course. Now, the difficult thing that they will learn using AI is I have chosen data analytics and data science because that's the other big important thing going on today, which is that with the rise of social media, more and more people are in the business of trying to manipulate people with misinformation, fake information, fake data, and so on. And I mean, I would call these the dark arts, and then this class becomes, defense against the dark arts. So, data science and data analytics is, thought of as something extremely advanced that, you don't even learn it in undergraduate. You have to do a master's and a PhD to do it, which used to be true some years back. But now, with the uh, rise of generative AI and the level at which AI is, even students can do this. Okay. And that is what this course data science. What the headline is that you learn how to extract signal from the noise of information and misinformation. The hidden thing is that you learn how to use AI well. Both of those are going to happen, right? And basically, what the students will do is think of what questions they want answered. They will also think of the data that they are going to use and analyze, how good that data is, and whether there are any problems with the data. And then they will learn how to use the AI to get the answers to their questions. They will also learn how to use the AI to get the right kind of data. Okay. Now, AI itself, you can think of it as a junior assistant to the students, but extremely knowledgeable, right? So the AI will write Python scripts. The AI will leverage various data science libraries that exist already. Sorry. Okay. And the AI will also be generating charts and bars and so on, right? Visualizations. And then once something has been generated, the students will learn to spot errors that either because the AI has made mistakes, or the AI has hallucinated, or the AI misunderstood the question, right? So then it goes all the way back into the student understands what's going on and then gives the AI new instructions. Be actual data sets, some which I have curated, others which the students will find on their own. I mean, I get the students to talk about they would love to do XYZ analysis. Sometimes it could be superheroes in Marvel universe, or it could be cricket data, right? Or it could be guitar tablatures, right? Which chords are used most often and what kind of music? I don't know. Any of these are possible, and but not just possible, but something that actual students can do in the course by themselves with a little bit of help from me and the TAs. Right? So that
figuring out how to extract this data. As an economist, this helps us save so much time in terms of not having to do all the grunt work and get to what hopefully we are supposed to be experts in. And the reason I want to bring this up, it's not just students who are aspiring to learn computer science who should be thinking about doing this course, but anybody who uses data as an input, which if you ask me these days is everybody, will benefit
correct,
by
yeah.
learning how to think about this course. Would you agree or would you want to add anything to what I've just said?
Oh, absolutely, right. So yeah, the most important point you made was that this is not a course for students aspiring to become data scientists or data analysts or computer scientists or anything, right? This is a course for, like you said, economists, but also I mean, right now I am helping a doctor use data analysis in her work, right? This can also be useful. I mean, literally, musicians could use this to find interesting things. Although, of course, their creativity comes from God knows where. But data analysis, a bunch of them do use data analysis, and it does help them, and so on. So it is for anyone.
Of May at the TAPMI campus in Manipal. GenWise has been running these camps the last 11 years now. I have been associated with these camps for the last 5 years. I think Navin joined a couple of years before I did as a teacher. But both of us have taught at this particular camp. Last year, there were about 175 students at the camp. This year, we're expecting a slightly higher number of students. But the idea behind the camp is we try to get instructors like Navin to teach kids who genuinely want to learn a subject. There is no pressure of any examination. There is no pressure of trying to show yourself as being better than the other students in the class. It very much is collaborative learning on this campus. With one thing that I think is the best and the biggest advantage of this camp, it's a device-free camp, which means while you're outside of the classroom, you get access to your phone or your tablet only for half an hour in the evening. Apart from that, you're expected to learn, speak to other human beings, have fun at the camp, and be a part of a community that is entirely about learning. We conduct the camp over there. The TAPMI students are on holiday, so it's exclusively for us. Students stay in the same hostels where the TAPMI students stay. It is two students to a room. There are two beds, an air-conditioned room with an attached bathroom, two desks, two cupboards. All four meals are on campus. This includes breakfast in the morning, a mid-morning snack, lunch, post-class snacks, and dinner. Everything.
I have no idea. I mean, I have, 35 years in computer science and software and research, and I have no idea what will happen in this area in just 2 years, forget 5 and 10 years, right? I have zero confidence in telling people whether they should choose A over B or so on, right? That's part of predicting is hard. Especially the future part is more interesting to me, right? Because this brings me to another quote, which is that the future is already here, it is just not evenly distributed, right? So I combine these two into a simple thing saying that, I want to focus on predicting the present. Okay. Most people have no idea what is happening right now, right? What AI is capable of doing today. Okay. I think that it is extremely difficult to predict the future. It is extremely difficult to choose now that this is the right path for me. What you have to do, though, is much easier. I mean, not easier, but uh, it is very effective to look at what is going on right now and course correct, right? Be agile, be ready to quickly change your path. Of course, I mean, you pick a 4 year degree and you're stuck with doing that degree in that college. But even within that college, even within those 4 years, there are so many different things you could focus on, right? I mean, do you focus fully on the programming parts or the theory parts, or do you spend more time in organizing events? Do you then position yourself for doing an MBA? There are many different options, and I don't know which one is right, but I know that being able to quickly change, being in touch with what is going on today, where the world is going, and then being able to quickly change is the more important one, right? So, in short, I think the answer is that it might not help them to choose a certain path A over B, but it will give them the tools to be more agile.